Hey guys, tonight we're stepping into a nightmare you never want to live. It starts simple, nothing cinematic. No thunderstorm, no blood-smeared walls, just a business trip. A 2-night stay in a forgotten Oregon town where pine trees outnumber people 10 to 1, and the roads aren't marked on GPS. The kind of place where your phone switches to no service the moment you cross the county line. You probably won't want to be caught in this, but hey, here we are. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop your location and what time it is for you right now. I always love seeing where my listeners are tuning in from. Now dim the lights, lock your doors, and let's delve into tonight's chilling scenario together. It was late after 9 p.m. when I rolled into town. I'd booked the only available rental online. The app showed just one photo, a dimly lit room, a bed, and a large mirror. No reviews, no rating. The listing had only popped up that morning, and the price dirt cheap. Which should have been the red flag, right? The house was on a side road with no street lamp. A weather-beaten structure, white paint peeling in long strips, 2 floors, shutters hanging like tired eyelids. No host in sight. Just a text message that buzzed in right as I parked, door code 030303, second floor, first door on left. Not welcome or let me know if you need anything. Just that. I stepped into a creaking hallway that smelled like wet paper and old attics. The stairs groaned under my feet. At the top, my door waited, paint flaking off in strips, the handle cold and stiff. I paused, suddenly hyper-aware of the stillness, like the house was holding its breath. Inside the room was as bare as the photo, a bed with thin sheets, a wooden wardrobe, an old armchair, and that massive mirror nailed directly to the wall, facing the bed like it wanted to watch me sleep. No TV, one plug for power, dust coating the windowsill. Still, I was too tired to be picky. I texted the host. Here now, all good. No reply. The bed creaked under me. I plugged in my phone, kicked off my shoes, and closed my eyes. That's when the feeling started. Have you ever felt watched, but in an intelligent way? Not just eyes on your back, but intent. Like something in the room was aware you were there and didn't like it. I brushed it off. Business trip stress, road fatigue, my brain searching for drama. I slept like a rock until 3:00 a.m. Knock, 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 sharp, hollow, deliberate. I sat up instantly, heart thudding in my ears. The room was silent. I waited, half expecting to hear footsteps running away. Nothing. I crept to the door. No light leaked from the hallway. I opened it just a crack. The hallway stared back, empty, unmoving. No creaks, no wind. Just silence so loud it made my ears ring. I closed the door, locked it, crawled back into bed, but my phone, it showed exactly 3:00 a.m. on the dot. That was the part that stuck with me. The next day, I worked from a cafe downtown. The locals were friendly enough, but everyone seemed just a little wary, like something unseen was nudging their shoulders at all times. I asked the barista if the rental house had any history. She paused.
Which one?
When I told her the address, her face stiffened.
Didn't know that place was still up.
Still up, as in? Not condemned. People used to live there, she muttered. Not anymore. She didn't say anything else. Wouldn't meet my eyes. Just rang me up, handed me my coffee, and turned away. Back at the house, I noticed something weird. There were no other tenants. No sound from the other rooms. The front door was always locked from the inside. It was like I was the only living soul here. And the deeper I sat in that silence, the more that mirror started to creep me out. It wasn't dirty, but it always looked hazy, like condensation on the inside. I wiped it, still blurry, stared at it long enough to feel like it might blink. That night I was cautious, double-locked the door, moved a chair underneath the handle, left the bedside lamp on. I lay awake, watching shadows crawl across the ceiling, waiting. And when the clock hit 3:00 a.m., I didn't just hear the knock again. I felt it. I felt it. The knock didn't come from the door this time. Knock, knock, knock. I sat bolt upright in bed, the sheets twisted around my legs like vines. The sound came again. But now, it was closer. Not from the hallway, not even the wall. It came from inside the room. I held my breath, straining to pinpoint it. Then I heard it again, louder. Knock, knock, knock. This time, from the wardrobe. My throat went dry. It took everything in me not to call out, not to demand who's there, because I had a feeling I didn't want an answer. Instead, I slid my hand across the side table, fingers fumbling for my phone. I grabbed it, turned on the flashlight. My thumb hovered over the emergency call button, but of course no bars. That no service notification had never left since I got here. I inched toward the wardrobe, heart pounding like a bass drum in my chest. Every creak of the wooden floor felt like a warning. The flashlight trembled in my grip. The knock didn't come again. Just heavy silence, that sick kind of quiet you get in funeral homes. I reached the wardrobe and slowly pulled the handle. It groaned open reluctantly, like it hadn't moved in years. Inside, 2 empty hangers and dust. But something was off. The back panel. It wasn't smooth. There were marks. I crouched down and pointed my light toward the baseboard. Scratch marks, dozens of them running in every direction. Some shallow, some deep. It looked like fingernails had clawed at the wood for hours, maybe days. Like someone had been trapped inside, begging to get out. I backed away so fast I nearly tripped over the armchair. This wasn't old house creaking, this was something else. I didn't sleep that night. Just sat awake in the corner, facing the mirror like that would protect me. The wardrobe door stayed ajar, and I kept watching it like it might breathe. By sunrise, I had already packed my bag. I didn't care about the second night I wanted out. I tried calling the host again. Straight to voicemail. Still no response. But the car wouldn't start. No sound. Just a stubborn dashboard that refused to light up. I popped the hood. I'm no mechanic, but it didn't look dead. Like the battery wasn't drained at all. It just wouldn't work. Then I checked my phone. Dead. I swear I charged it overnight. The cable was still plugged in, but now the screen was black, unresponsive. Even my watch was frozen, stuck at exactly 3:00. I sat there in the front seat, feeling a slow wave of dread crawl up my spine. It wasn't just bad luck. Something was off. Like the air was heavier. Like time had stopped on purpose. With nothing else to do, I went back inside to look for a landline. The kitchen downstairs was cluttered in cold cabinets filled with expired cans and dusty plates. No phone. Just old junk. When I walked past the mirror again, I caught my reflection lagging. Just for a split second. I moved, and my reflection was just a hair late, like a glitch in a horror game. That's when I noticed the top right corner of the mirror. It was crooked. Not by much, but enough. like someone had recently unmounted it and put it back hastily. I leaned in and noticed a fine line between the glass and the wall, barely visible but there. I got a butter knife from the kitchen and slowly pried the corner up. There was something behind it. A folded-up piece of paper jammed between the mirror and the wall. I pulled it free. It was stained brown and red and sticky, like it had been hidden a long time. I unfolded it carefully. The words were barely legible, smudged, but I could make out parts. She's still here. Don't look in the mirror at 3. They buried the truth behind her smile. Then one last line scrawled furiously over and over again. Not a reflection. Not a reflection. Not a reflection. The paper fell from my hands. I backed away slowly, and as I did, I swore, absolutely swore, I saw a faint shape in the mirror. A figure, just behind me, not moving, watching. But when I turned around, nothing. That's when the breathing started. Slow, ragged, female, right behind my left ear. I turned again. Nothing. But my skin went cold, like someone had blown ice across my neck. I don't scream often, but I did then. Ran out of the room down the stairs, tried the front door, still locked from the inside. I couldn't get it open no matter how I pulled or twisted the handle. Then I heard footsteps. From upstairs, heavy, deliberate, coming closer. No one else was supposed to be in this house. I grabbed the only thing near me, a fireplace poker, and backed into the corner of the living room. Then the footsteps stopped, right at the top of the stairs. I looked up and saw nothing. Just the top landing. But I knew someone was there. I could feel them, watching, breathing, that kind of presence that makes your teeth ache. Then just barely audible knock, knock, knock. Not on the wall, not on wood, but on glass. I bolt upstairs like something's chasing me because something is. Not in the physical sense, not in the way you could grab it or see it or call the cops on it, but in that bone-deep instinct kind of way. That primal voice screaming, "Leave, now." But I don't. I go back into the room like a lunatic because my phone's still there, and even if it's dead, it feels like the only lifeline I have. That, and maybe, just maybe, if I can understand what's happening, I can undo it. Big mistake. I step into the room and everything is exactly the same, yet completely wrong. You ever get that déjà vu feeling, but darker? Like you've walked into a memory that doesn't belong to you. The mirror is fine now. No crack, no blood-stained note. Nothing to prove what I saw just minutes ago. But here's what changes. My reflection. She's not me anymore. Same clothes, same face, but her posture's too stiff, her smile's too tight, and her eyes. God, her eyes, they're wrong. Like they're watching me the way a lion watches a dying antelope. Not with sympathy, just waiting. And then she waves. My reflection raises a hand and waves at me. I don't move. My heart punches against my ribs so hard I think it might snap one. I back away slowly, keeping my eyes on the glass. The reflection stays still now. Hand frozen mid-wave. Then, in one fluid motion, she turns around. But I don't. I'm still facing the mirror. She's not. She walks away inside the mirror toward the wardrobe. Opens it. Vanishing into it. Gone. That's when the scratching starts again. Only now it's louder. Inside the walls. It's coming from behind the mirror. I run to the wardrobe, not sure why, just pure impulse, and slam it shut. as if that'll trap something inside. The whole thing rattles like someone's banging on the back of it. I step away fast back to the door, and that's when I finally hear a voice. Small, feminine, dry and cracked like old paper. It says,
Why won't you help me?
"That's it. I'm out." I slam the door behind me, run to the hallway, and make straight for the one place I haven't explored yet, the attic. I don't even decide to. It's like something pulls me there. The attic door is a trap door in the ceiling barely visible above the hallway rug. I yank it down, unfold the ladder, and climb, flashlight trembling in my hand. The smell hits me, first mold and dust and something sour, like spoiled milk and metal. The attic is cluttered, boxes stacked like forgotten memories, old furniture draped in yellowed sheets. The air's so stale it hurts to breathe. I scan around, feeling every part of my body scream, "Don't stay long." And then I find it. A box labeled Isabel in purple crayon. Inside, a child's stuffed rabbit, a cracked photo frame with a girl around age 9 standing next to a woman, her mother maybe, and a spiral notebook with hearts drawn all over the cover. I flip it open. The entries start out normal, school stuff, birthday wishes. Then it starts to shift. Mommy says I can't go in the mirror room anymore. The lady with no face came back last night. She scratched the wall again. I told Daddy, but he said I was lying. I'm not. Then one page just scribbled over and over, "Help me, help me, help me, help me, help me." Suddenly the temperature drops, cold enough to see my breath, and I hear it again, breathing, behind me. I whip around. Nothing. But when I look back at the notebook, a new sentence is written at the bottom of the page. Fresh ink, still wet. "She's behind you." I don't look. Can't. I grab the box and descend the ladder so fast I nearly fall. I run downstairs through the front door and into the yard. I don't care if my car doesn't work. I'm out. I'll walk to town. I'll crawl if I have to. But when I get to the driveway, I stop. The car is running, headlights on, engine humming. But I didn't start it. The driver's door is wide open. On the driver's seat, my phone fully charged, like it never died. And next to it, the mirror from the room. How did it get there? I approach, slowly, heart thudding. The mirror is lying face up, propped like it was meant to reflect the driver's seat. And in the glass, I see myself and her. She's sitting in the passenger seat, long black hair over her face, wearing a tattered white nightgown, her hands folded in her lap like she's patiently waiting for me to get in. I don't move, but in the mirror she turns her head, just a few degrees, then smiles, then raises one pale, dirt-smeared hand and taps. Knock, knock, knock. I slam the car door shut and sprint down the street, away from the house, away from that girl, from everything. I don't stop running until the woods swallow me whole, and even then, the knocking still follows. The knocking in my head won't stop. Every step I take away from that cursed house only makes the sound louder, like it's echoing through my bones. But I don't dare stop, not even to catch my breath. I'm running toward the town, toward anything that feels safe, but the pine trees are thick, the roads bumpy and nameless, just like the rental app promised. Only this nightmare didn't come with a convenient checkout button. I finally collapse near a diner just as the sun begins to bleed into the sky. The neon sign flickers, buzzing like a warning. Inside, the smell of burnt coffee and bacon cuts through the chill clinging to me. I pull my jacket tighter, heart hammering, and order the strongest black coffee they have. The waitress eyes me like I just crawled out of a graveyard. Maybe I did. She asks where I'm from, but I can barely get the words out. Small town, rental, strange house, knocking. I trail off, but the words taste bitter like poison on my tongue. She nods slowly, almost knowingly, and tells me about a girl who disappeared years ago, Isabel. The name hits me like a freight train. The locals say she was locked away, hidden somewhere in that old house at the edge of town. The host of the rental, a reclusive man who vanished around the same time. Some whisper about curses, others about guilt and secrets that never died. But no one wants to talk about what happened in the mirror room. I feel like I'm standing at the edge of something darker than I imagined. The kind of darkness that lingers long after the night ends. As I sip the cold coffee, the ringing starts again in my ears. The tapping, knock, knock, knock. I glance around. No one else hears it. And that's when I realize the forgotten girl isn't done with me yet. The diner's fluorescent lights flicker overhead, casting sickly shadows across the linoleum floor. I pay my bill, voice shaky, and step back into the chilly morning air. The town's quiet hum feels off, like it's holding its breath. I need answers, but the deeper I dig, the heavier the air grows, like invisible hands are pressing down, warning me to stop. I decide to return to that old house. Something inside me, call it stubborn curiosity or pure terror, drives me back to the peeling white door. This time I bring a small voice recorder, a flashlight, and my phone, though I don't trust it to work. The hallway smells even worse now, damp and rotten, as if the walls are breathing out decades of forgotten secrets. My footsteps echo hollowly as I climb the stairs, the wood creaking beneath me. The door with the peeling paint stands there like a warning sign. The number 030303 stares back at me like a riddle I can't solve. I push it open slowly. The room is exactly as I left it. The bed neatly made, the armchair gathering dust, the mirror hanging crooked on the wall. I crouch and examine the wardrobe again. The scratch marks are deeper now, almost claw-like, raw, as if fresh. I switch on the recorder and speak softly.
This is Elena Monroe, revisiting the rental house on Elm Street. I don't know what I'm hoping to find, but I need to understand. Isabel, if you're here, show me.
Minutes crawl by, silence, then a soft creak from the wardrobe. My heart spikes. The door rattles gently, as if someone or something is trapped inside, begging to get out. I shine the flashlight into the dark closet, and for a moment I swear I see a pale face. Wet hair, empty eyes pressed against the back panel. But when I blink, it's gone. My breath catches in my throat. I step back and glance at the mirror. The glass ripples like water, and a shadow flickers behind me. The reflection distorts, showing not my face, but a girl's young, terrified, and desperate. Her lips move. No sound escapes, but the panic in her eyes is deafening. I shudder, recording still running. The silence that follows feels like the calm before a storm. And then the knocking starts again, slow, deliberate, right behind me. Knock, knock, knock. I whip around, flashlight cutting through the gloom. The room is empty, just the peeling wallpaper and that crooked mirror mocking me. The knocking doesn't stop. It's coming from the walls, now rhythmic and haunting, like a heartbeat trapped in plaster and wood. My skin prickles with cold. I grip the recorder, tighter, voice shaking as I speak.
Isabel, I hear you. Please tell me what happened.
The air thickens, almost suffocating. Then I notice something strange. The mirror's surface is fogging up, but only on the side facing the room. Slowly, words appear, written from the inside as if by an unseen finger. Help me. I swallow hard, trying not to lose it. This isn't just a haunted house story anymore. This is a cry for justice. The wardrobe door creaks open by itself, and I catch a glimpse of a torn piece of fabric hanging inside, a ragged sleeve stained and aged. I reach in carefully and pull out an old diary, its leather cover cracked and brittle. Pages fall open to a final entry scrawled in desperate handwriting. March 3rd, 2016. He's coming again. I hear the footsteps upstairs. I'm hiding, but he knows. I need to get out. If someone finds this, please save me. The date hits me like a punch. March 3rd, the same date as the rental code. The same night I first heard the knocking. I flip further and find another note, this one hastily scribbled. The host is not who he seems. He hides what no one should see. The cold in the room deepens. I realize the host wasn't just a creepy landlord. He was part of something darker. A sudden noise makes me jump, a scraping sound from beneath the floorboards. I kneel down and shine the flashlight into the narrow gap between the floor and the wall. Inside, I see something wrapped in plastic, old, crumpled, and soaked in dust. My heart races. I tug at it, and a rusted metal box slides free. Inside, a stack of photographs. One catches my eye, a blurry image of the rental house. But in the window of the second floor, a pale girl is staring out. Her eyes are hollow, her mouth twisted in a silent scream. I tuck the box into my bag and whisper,
I'm coming for you, Isabel.
Outside, the wind picks up, howling through the pine trees like a warning. I'm not just chasing ghosts anymore. I'm chasing the truth. The night deepens, and I'm stuck between adrenaline and dread. With the diary and photos clutched tight, I decide to explore the basement. Something tells me the answers are down there, lurking in the shadows. The stairs creak beneath my weight as I descend, each step louder than the last, in the stale, musty air. The basement smells of damp earth and something metallic. My flashlight flickers, and I tap it anxiously, praying it doesn't die now. I scan the room, a cluttered mess of old furniture, broken crates, and rusted tools. But then, near the far wall, I see something that stops me cold, a noose, dangling from a low beam, swinging gently like it was just disturbed. My heart hammers, and I fight the urge to bolt. Then, pinned to the beam with a rusty nail, is a small piece of paper. I inch closer and read the shaky handwriting. He couldn't hide it forever. Suddenly, a chill crawls up my spine. The noose swings slightly, though no breeze stirs the stagnant air. My breath catches, and I hear a whisper, barely audible, "Find me." I drop the flashlight on the floor, and it casts long, flickering shadows. There, half buried beneath an overturned crate, I spot another box. This one locked, but with the fragile edges of old wood. I pry it open carefully, and inside find a collection of letters, yellowed and fragile. One letter catches my eye. It's addressed to Isabel, dated a week before her disappearance. The tone is pleading and urgent. It speaks of fierce secrecy and a warning to stay silent. The last line chills me: "If I disappear, know it was never your fault." My hands tremble. Who wrote this? And what secrets did the host bury here? The room seems to close in around me. I'm halfway through the basement when a sudden crash echoes from upstairs. I freeze, heart in my throat. The knocking from before starts again, louder now, like an angry pulse demanding attention. I dash up the stairs and burst into the hallway. The door to the second-floor room is wide open, despite me locking it earlier. A cold wind rushes past, carrying a faint, sad melody like a lullaby sung long ago. I step inside slowly, and the mirror across the room shatters completely. Glass rains down, sparkling like tiny stars, and then silence. But I know this is far from over. I don't know how I make it through the night after that. The shattered mirror's shards glitter like broken promises on the floor, reflecting the flickering candlelight I lit in a desperate attempt to hold back the dark. My mind races, looping the whisper and the noose, the letters, the knock at the door. It's like every shadow in that house is watching me, waiting. Morning comes too fast. I pack up the letters and photos, knowing I need to get out and find someone who can help me make sense of this mess. But first, I decide to check the local library. Maybe the town's records will shed some light on Isabel, the girl who's more ghost than memory in this house. At the library, the air smells of old paper and secrets. The clerk, a wary woman with tired eyes, points me toward the archives. I dig into dusty newspapers, missing persons reports, and old police logs. The name Isabel Tremblay pops up, repeatedly reported missing 7 years ago, after her parents vanished in what was ruled a tragic accident. One article catches my eye. It mentions a dispute with a man named Harold Winters, the previous owner of the house, who disappeared shortly after Isabel vanished. Rumors said he was abusive and unstable, but no charges ever stuck. The town never spoke of him openly, like the ground swallowed his story whole. Then I find something that stops me cold, a photo from a town festival, Isabel, smiling with a man in the background, his face almost hidden by shadow, but his eyes sharp and cold. I cross-reference the photo with old property records and confirm Harold Winters owned the house until his mysterious disappearance. As I stare at the picture, I can't shake the feeling that I'm not just uncovering history. I'm awakening something that's been waiting for me. I clutch the photo tight. Outside, the wind howls through the trees, carrying a faint tapping sound that sends shivers down my spine. The library's closing announcement snaps me back, but I'm stuck in a whirlpool of questions. Who was Harold Winters really, and what happened in that house after he vanished? The deeper I dig, the heavier the air feels, like I'm breathing in the weight of forgotten pain. I take the photo and the articles back to my rental, determined to piece it all together. Back at the house, the sun's dipping low, painting the walls with a sickly orange glow that makes the peeling paint look almost alive. I spread the evidence on the kitchen table, the photo, the letters, the scribbled words from the basement. I start mapping the connections, tracing the timeline. Isabel disappears, Winters goes missing, the house changes hands, and the hauntings begin. Suddenly, I catch a movement out the window, a flash of long hair like a shadow flickering past the edge of the woods. My heart thuds in my chest, but when I blink, nothing's there, just the trees swaying like silent sentinels guarding their secrets. I remember the claw marks in the wardrobe, the desperate scratches behind the mirror, and the way Isabel's finger was pressed deep into the wall. It's like she's trapped in the house, still fighting, still trying to break free. But from what and why can't anyone hear her? My phone buzzes a message from an unknown number. It's a single word, leave. A cold sweat breaks out across my skin. This isn't just a haunted house, it's a trap. And someone or something doesn't want me digging any deeper. But I can't stop now. Not when I'm this close. I lock all the doors and windows, double-checking every bolt. The night falls, and with it, the oppressive silence wraps around me like a shroud. Then, at exactly 3:00 a.m., the tapping starts again. This time, it's slow, deliberate, coming from the mirror. I stare into the glass, willing myself to be brave. And there she is, Isabel. Her eyes wide, pleading. Her finger raised, tapping on the glass. Knock, knock, knock. The knocking rattles inside my skull, a rhythm both urgent and hollow. I can't look away from the mirror. The reflection ripples, warps, and then her face presses against the glass, pale and desperate. Isabel's eyes aren't just wide. They're full of something deeper, a terror that's seeped through time and space. I reach out instinctively, fingertips grazing the cold surface. The moment I touch it, a shock runs through me like static electricity crossed with a cold blast. My skin prickles as if I'm touching ice beneath a layer of flesh. Then whispers, soft, unintelligible murmurs seem to spill out from the mirror itself. I pull back, heart hammering. This isn't a reflection. It's a window, a door, something trapped on the other side. I grab my phone, but the battery's dead. Again. The clock reads 3:01 a.m. The knocking has stopped, but the silence that follows is worse, thick, waiting like the calm before a storm. I try to steady my breath, forcing myself to listen. A faint scraping comes from the hallway like nails dragging across wood. Goosebumps bloom across my arms. I flick on the candle I'd lit earlier. The flame flickers violently, then steadies, casting long, trembling shadows. Suddenly, the bedroom door creaks open with a slow, grinding protest. I freeze. No one else should be here. I wasn't expecting anyone. A cold wind rushes past me. The candle gutters out. Darkness swallows the room. My phone lights up. The screen shows a message: "You shouldn't be here." The message isn't from a number I know. No sender ID. A shiver runs down my spine. I'm not alone. And whatever this is, it's watching. I inch toward the door, peering into the hallway. The faint glow of the streetlight outside filters in. Nothing moves. But then a soft sobbing, barely audible, floats down the stairs. It's a child's cry. Heartbreaking. Real. I want to follow it, but my feet feel glued to the floor. The sobbing fades. The house exhales a long, mournful sigh, and somewhere deep inside, I know this night is far from over. The sobbing fades, but leaves behind a thick, suffocating silence that presses on my ears like a weight. I don't know how long I stand, frozen, staring at the empty hallway, heart pounding so loud I swear it's echoing through the whole house. Every instinct screams at me to run, get out now. But curiosity, that stubborn detective part of me, keeps me rooted. I flick the candle back on its weak light, dancing across peeling wallpaper and warped floorboards. The house feels alive, like it's breathing, waiting for me to make the next move. I pull out the crumpled, blood-stained note from my pocket again, the faint scent of iron still lingering. I can't stop staring at the smeared words, "Help me." But beneath those two words, something else, a series of scratches, almost like a desperate signature. I can barely make it out, but it looks like a name, Isabel. I'm beginning to think the girl in the mirror isn't just a ghost story. She's real and trapped. I tiptoe to the bottom of the stairs, every creak and groan amplified in the eerie silence. The crying came from the kitchen, or maybe the living room. But when I get there, the room is empty. Just a single rocking chair slowly swinging back and forth as if pushed by an invisible hand. Suddenly, a cold gust brushes past my neck. I spin around, but nothing's there. Then I hear a faint scratching coming from behind the wall near the chair. My pulse races. I press my ear to the cold plaster. The scratching is frantic, desperate, like someone trapped inside clawing to be free. I grab a nearby chair and start tapping along the wall, mimicking the rhythm. Knock, knock, knock. After a long pause, the scratching stops. I step back, heart pounding, mind spinning. This isn't just a haunted house. It's a prison. My phone buzzes again. New message. No sender. Find the wall. A shiver runs through me. This night is turning darker than I ever imagined. The message rattles through my mind like a chilling mantra. Find the wall. But which wall? Every inch of this house screams old secrets and forgotten horrors. I decide to start where the scratching came from the wall behind the rocking chair. I grab my flashlight and circle the room, eyes scanning for anything out of place. The wallpaper is peeling in strips, revealing raw, splintered wood underneath. My fingers trace the grain, searching for a clue. Then I notice it, a faint outline, a rectangle nearly the same color as the rest of the wall, but the edges are too straight to be natural. A hidden door. My pulse quickens as I press against it. At first nothing, then click. The panel swings open like a trap door, revealing a narrow crawl space shrouded in darkness. The stale, suffocating air rushes out thick with the scent of mildew and decay. I shine my light inside. The space is barely big enough to squeeze through, but what catches my eye is a bundle of torn, fabric-tangled hair and a small, rotted box. I pull the box out, hands shaking. Inside, a worn diary, yellowed pages crumbling at the edges. Flipping through the handwriting is small, cramped, a desperate voice from the past. The entries tell of a girl named Isabel trapped by someone she called the Watcher, forced to hide in this very crawl space to escape his wrath. One passage chills me to the bone. He knows where I am. I can hear his footsteps. I'm running out of time. If anyone finds this, please save me. I swallow hard, realizing the diary is her last hope, her story left behind for someone like me. Suddenly, footsteps echo from the floor above. Slow, heavy, intentional. I freeze, holding my breath. The house is no longer just a haunted relic. It's a tomb with a watcher still walking its halls. The footsteps are relentless, pacing right above me like some dark heartbeat syncing with my own rapid pulse. I inch back from the crawl space, the diary clutched tight like a lifeline. Every creak of the wooden floor makes my skin crawl. I decide to follow the trail Isabel left behind, hoping the diary will lead me to answers, or at least to some escape. Her words speak of a basement door hidden behind a false wall in the kitchen, a secret chamber where the Watcher kept his trophies. I head downstairs, careful not to make a sound. The kitchen looks abandoned, coated in dust and shadows. The cracked linoleum floor sticks to my shoes. I scan the walls, fingers brushing over faded wallpaper, until I find it a faint seam behind the cabinets. With a grunt, I push aside the panel, revealing a narrow staircase spiraling down into darkness. I pause, the air thick and cold. This is where Isabel's nightmare was born. I switch on my flashlight and descend the beam, cutting through the stale blackness. The stairs creak underfoot. the silence broken only by the distant drip of water and my own ragged breathing. At the bottom, a low-ceilinged room emerges a crypt of forgotten pain. Rusted chains hang from the walls, and in the center, a dusty table with scraps of torn cloth and broken toys. Then I see it, a faded photo pinned to the wall. A young girl, bright-eyed and smiling Isabel. A cold draft brushes my neck. I whip around, but nothing's there. The air feels alive, charged with unseen eyes. Suddenly, my flashlight flickers, and for a moment I swear I see a shadow flicker just beyond the edge of the beam. I remind myself this isn't just a story anymore. It's real. Isabel's voice, her terror, it's all here waiting for someone to listen. And I'm the only one left who can. My hands tremble as I approach a corner where the faint outlines of another door appear half-hidden beneath years of grime and neglect. The diary's last entry hinted at this, the final barrier between Isabel's captivity and the world above. I brace myself, knowing whatever lies beyond could shatter the fragile thread of hope I've been clinging to. I push the door open slowly, the hinges groaning like a dying breath. Inside is a small, claustrophobic space, barely enough to stand in. The walls are covered in scratches and desperate scrawls, messages from a trapped soul. Help me, please don't forget me. Each word etched with trembling fingers, bleeding through time. In the center lies a broken locket, its chain tangled and tarnished. I pick it up carefully, fingers numb, and open it to find a faded photo of Isabel, and someone else, a man with cold eyes and a cruel smile. The watcher, no doubt. Suddenly, a whisper brushes past my ear, so soft I almost doubt it's real. Thank you. It trails off, fading like a dying ember. The room's air grows colder, heavier. I feel a presence pressing against my skin, watching, waiting. My flashlight flickers violently and then dies. Darkness wraps around me like a shroud. I reach for my phone, but it's dead too. Panic surges. I fumble for the door, but it slams shut on its own, trapping me in the pitch black. Heart hammering, I press my back against the cold wood, listening to the silence. Or is it a low, rhythmic tapping? Knock. 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 A chilling reminder that some doors, once opened, don't want to close. The door won't budge. I pound against it, voice raw from shouting, but the darkness doesn't answer, only that relentless tapping echoing inside my skull. I fumble for my phone again, praying for any sign of life. A flicker. One bar. A message notification, you shouldn't have come. My breath catches. The locket slips from my fingers, clinking softly on the floor. I feel a cold hand brush my shoulder. No, that's impossible. The room tightens around me like a coffin. Then out of nowhere, a faint glow illuminates the scratched walls. The words, "I'm free now," shimmer in an eerie light. And the tapping turns into a soft voice, barely audible, but unmistakable. Thank you. The door creaks open, and I stumble out into the dim basement, air lungs burning. Upstairs, the house feels empty, but the heavy silence speaks volumes. The truth is, out, Isabel's spirit is finally free. But so is the darkness that watched over her. I leave the house behind, but the tapping follows me, a haunting reminder that some stories don't end when you walk away.